What if I told you that the very first match of FIFA 2026 wasn't remembered for the goals? What if I told you it was remembered for the chaos, for the red cards, for the pressure, for an entire nation carrying the weight of a World Cup on its shoulders? Because when Mexico stepped onto the pitch at the iconic Azteca Stadium, they weren't just playing South Africa. They were opening the biggest World Cup in history. 80,000 fans filled the stadium. Millions watched around the world. And every Mexican supporter was asking the same question. Could Mexico finally deliver on the biggest stage? Tonight, we got our first answer, and it wasn't what many expected. The stage was set. The wait was finally over. After years of anticipation, FIFA 2026 had arrived. For the first time ever, the World Cup was being hosted by 3 nations. But the opening match belonged to Mexico. The legendary Azteca Stadium was alive. The noise, the emotion, the expectation, everything felt bigger than a normal football match. This wasn't just another group stage game. This was the first chapter of an entire World Cup, and Mexico knew it. There was pressure everywhere. The memories of previous disappointments still haunted fans. The team had struggled in recent tournaments. Many critics doubted whether this generation could handle the spotlight. But opening night offered a chance to change the narrative, a chance to start fresh, a chance to make history. The perfect start. The match had barely begun when disaster struck for South Africa. Just 9 minutes into the game, a defensive mistake changed everything. Mexico seized the opportunity instantly. The ball fell kindly inside the penalty area. One powerful strike later, the net exploded, the stadium erupted, and FIFA 2026 had its first goal. The roar inside Azteca could probably be heard across Mexico City. The pressure vanished. The tension disappeared. The hosts had exactly what they needed. For South Africa, however, everything became much harder. Conceding early in a World Cup opener is difficult. Conceding early against the host nation is even worse. Now they had to chase the game, and that is where problems began. South Africa's struggle. As the first half continued, South Africa never seemed comfortable. Passes were rushed. Attacks broke down quickly. Confidence started fading. Mexico controlled possession. They controlled momentum. And most importantly, they controlled the atmosphere. Every tackle was cheered. Every chance created excitement. The crowd became Mexico's extra player. South Africa tried to respond. They fought. They battled. But clear opportunities were difficult to find. Mexico looked organized, focused, disciplined. By halftime, the score remained 1-0. South Africa were still alive, but something felt off. Something felt like it was building beneath the surface, and nobody knew how crazy the second half was about to become. The second half started with South Africa desperately needing a comeback. Instead, disaster struck again. A dangerous Mexican attack broke through the defense. A desperate challenge followed. The referee had no choice. Red card. South Africa were down to 10 men. Suddenly, the task became nearly impossible. Playing against the host nation is hard. Playing against the host nation with 10 players, that's a nightmare. Mexico sensed weakness. They pushed forward. The crowd sensed it too. Every attack felt dangerous. Every cross created panic. South Africa defended with everything they had, but eventually the pressure became too much. In the 67th minute, Mexico delivered the knockout blow. A brilliant attacking move created space inside the box. The cross arrived perfectly. The finish was even better. Goal, 2-0 Mexico. The stadium exploded again. Players celebrated. Fans celebrated. An entire nation celebrated. At that moment, everybody knew. The opening match was over. South Africa now needed a miracle. And miracles rarely happen against 80,000 screaming supporters. For Mexico, the dream start was becoming reality. But strangely enough, the goals weren't the biggest story anymore, because the match was about to become chaotic. Very chaotic. Tackles became harder. Tempers started rising. Frustration was everywhere. Then another major incident occurred. A second South African player was sent off. Red card. Now South Africa had only 9 men on the pitch. The game was effectively finished, but emotions kept boiling over. Challenges became reckless. Arguments broke out. The referee was constantly involved. And just when things seemed settled, Mexico received a red card of their own during stoppage time. 3 red cards, 2 goals, 1 unforgettable opening match. Incredibly, the game finished with more red cards than goals. That is not how anyone expected FIFA 2026 to begin. For neutral fans,